Bolster can be wherever's comfortable to get it started, and the strap, have it right next to you. We're going to use strap in just a moment, one of our first poses. Good. So as you're laying back, when you've got everything, just give your muscles a chance to completely and totally relax. It's no effort. Just let it all go. You guys know me, I like to have an image or an idea to work with. So what I was thinking of for today, imagine that you've been carrying around your load and you know better than anybody else what your load is. That load is all the things that you have to do, all the things on your to-do list, all the people that you need to help, all the places you need to go. All this load can sometimes become very heavy. Especially in those times, we tend to put our self-care very last. So I'm proud of you for coming today, for making time for yourself. And for today, for this class, set your load aside. Give yourself permission to just let it go for at least this 1 hour together. We'll be working through some of the areas that tend to collapse in our body when we have this load. Our shoulders, our back, kind of like carrying a heavy backpack. Our hips and our hamstrings, kind of that curled in fetal position from all the work we need to do. We kind of naturally take that just curled in shape. And so here, we're letting all of that go. We're going to give our body a chance to open up and stretch some of those areas out that tend to take the majority of that tension when things get hard and exhausting. And so with that image, that sigh of relief to lead us on, let's allow ourselves to start off. We're going to take the knees into the chest. With the knees here, place a hand on each knee. Let the low back and the hips rock around a little bit. Some of us will do circles. Some of us will do just an easy left and right rocking or forward and backward rocking. For me especially, I like to feel and check in with the sacrum while I'm doing this rocking. Sometimes that sacrum, which is the base of the spine, when we've had those bad posture things from our load that we're carrying, sometimes the sacrum, it's like it's trying to balance the whole spine and it comes out of alignment. So this is just an easy little massage for that sacrum. Start to feel a little bit of motion going on in the vertebrae. You're waking up a little bit. And from here, release the left leg, let it drop all the way, sliding long through the ground. Both hands pull this right knee in. It gets pulled close to right shoulder. Give it a hug there. Relief for the colon. And take a very slow, snail slow journey toward a twist. This right knee very slowly crosses over the body. Feel how this starts to wake up the right hip. If at some point you'd like to drop the knee onto the bolster, that's fine. Or you can let it hover toward the floor if that's a better spot for the twist. Just depends on how much twisting your spine wants to do right here. If there's any spots that feel amazing, you can pause for a little while before you go on. And feel how it is to take a breath in the twist. And deep, nice and easy. Sometimes after 3 or 4 breaths, the spine naturally wants to drop a little lower in the twist, but there's no forcing today. This is restorative. It's more of a melting quality. How much can we just relax into the shape? Feel the parts of the lungs that are willing to accept a little bit more oxygen here. Notice if there's bits of that load that we were carrying that are still hiding in the body. If you find any of those spots, try to send breath there. Let it relax. The deepest breath possible, go for 3 more breath cycles. Nice and slow, no need to speed through it. Whenever you finish that 3rd breath cycle, the right hip starts to return down to the ground. Leave this leg floating for a moment. We're going to do one more stretch before we switch sides. With this stretch, we're taking our strap, open it all the way out, and we're going to create a nice large loop with the strap. So if your strap is the same as mine, you feed it through both buckles and then back out the last one, or the closer one. With doing that, it shouldn't slip when you give it some tension. Tug it in that loop. So take a moment to figure it out. Some straps are different, so do whatever you need to do to keep it locked. But whenever you've got that situated, it's nice and large. You're putting your right foot into one end of the strap, and then the back of your head into the other end. It's not at your neck, it's not at the crown of the head, it's that center of the back of the head. That spot that allows the neck and the hamstring to be stretching together. So you'll see, as you're getting it set up, if you don't feel any stretch in your hamstring, that just means you're more flexible than this particular circumference. So you're welcome to tighten up your loop until it gets to a spot where you're feeling a stretch, but it's not too much. Back of neck and hamstring supporting each other like a hammock. And try to see if you can release all the tension from your neck. Some people here tend to kind of hold their head up, but honestly, the more heavy you can make the head, the better you'll feel it in your hamstring because it's that weight pulling back. Good, I'm hearing the breath flow. Keep on checking in with that. This is a space where we hold our tension, a lot of it. So keep breathing that tension away. The knee started off super bent. By now, you might feel it willing to straighten just a little bit more. We're not locking it, but just softening. It's a soft quality. And with that softness, you can feel the circulation, you can feel the muscles, all of it being aided right here. Sometimes another place where we might be tense here is in the foot. It kind of pushes away because in doing that, it's resisting some of the intensity that might be present in the calf area. So see if you can relax the ball of the foot a little bit and notice that calf joining in on the party. Or whatever your experience is, whether it's more in the calf, more in the hamstring, or even elsewhere, hips perhaps. Let's take 3 more of those slow breaths. I'll have different paces, so whenever you finish your third one, keep the strap as is for the second side eventually, but you can set it down to ground. If you used the bolster for the twist earlier, switch sides, and then you'll start to release that right leg all the way down to the floor. Before we take the left knee in, give yourself just a brief shavasana. Feel the body relax into the ground. And just feel how things are different right now than they were a few minutes ago. Yeah, that's exactly my experience right now too. One leg feels very long compared to the other. So whenever you're ready, start to take that left knee in. Spread hands around the knee, pull it into shoulder. Imagine you could hug it in so much that even your colon gets a little activation, a little hug. And whenever you're ready for the twist, take that same slow journey, no rush. If there's a moment as you're heading toward the twist where you feel something really delicious, stay there for a moment. This will pass through the IT band before it heads into hips and back. So sometimes that's the tight area. Just know that this is slowly transitioning as it crawls down. Eventually settle in toward a spot that feels good to just relax, whether it's floating knee or knee resting on bolster. Notice if left shoulder is lifting off the ground. If that's the case, try to encourage the upper back to relax down, returning to floor. Notice if the back is relaxing into this as well. Our muscles have this tendency at first in the stretch to tighten. That's because it wants to protect itself. It's like it knows that load that we carry, and it's like if I relax, I might not be able to hold my load anymore. So here's that question. Do I have to always hold my load? How much can I let go at least some of the time? Letting self-care be more of the experience. And again, check in with the breath. The breath flow deep and full. Where does the breath want to flow? Can we start to find more of that melting quality rather than that initial tension that we tend to experience? See if you can melt down even further for another 3 final breaths here. Each breath helping to relax through the exhale. After you finish that third breath, slowly let left hip return to floor. Locate your strap whenever you're there. Let's set that hammock back up. Left foot in one end, head in the other end. And I didn't mention this before, but hopefully it's obvious. You don't want the metal to be right where the head is. That's uncomfortable. So slide it to one side. Okay, and how is this side doing compared to our first side? Our different sides will tell different stories oftentimes. In yoga, we say that one side is our moon channel, the other side is our sun channel. Masculine and the feminine, the yin and the yang. They have different qualities, so it's not super surprising to know that it's normal and natural for one side to experience the stretch very different. So if you need to loosen the circumference or tighten it, that's fine. Take any adjustments. Maybe the knee's a little bit bent at first, and then we're slowly going to work on that. Perhaps you notice the more the breath relaxes, the more the body relaxes. You to notice what's going on. Maybe you're noticing that same thing where ball of foot is pushing into the strap to avoid the cap. So if that's the case, maybe it's willing to relax by now. Just communicate with your body. Gratitude is amazing for the body. If it's really struggling, just say thank you rather than being kind of festering with our mind on the tightness that might be present. Start to say the gratitude. Thank you. You've helped me to carry my load. Thank you. You've led me through every day of my life. Thank you. You really do an amazing job. Life would be so much harder without this leg. Thank you. If the breath is willing to relax even more, those final 3 breaths here. And after those 3 breaths, release strap, slowly drop the leg down to floor. No rush, but when you get there, give your body another couple of breaths with that Shavasana. Just check in. One more huge breath, let it flow in, deep and full. Nice and gentle out, release. From here, we're gonna rise up to a seated place the easiest way possible. In restorative classes, I personally like to roll through a fetal position and then press up. Nice and easy. Adding no tension to the body. We're not taking our load. Back up. Good. Once you're sitting comfortably, feel how willing the spine is to lift up tall. Notice how that feels in this moment. And from that tall seated place, clasp hands behind back. And allow the hands, the elbows to try to straighten a little bit. It's okay if they're slightly bent, but straighten and pull slightly away from where the hips are. So it's allowing shoulders to roll open backwards. So that posture is still trying to stack nice and tall. So the core zip up just a little bit, just to help. Good. Take one more huge breath right here. Huge inhale. Beautiful exhale. Good. Release the hands. Take your left hand toward your right knee and then slide it on the ground in that angle. The left hand to right knee and slide it long. Feel the spine getting pulled. This one's nice because it starts lengthening more of those back muscles. The twist did a lot. This one adds even more length to those lats, to the erector spinae. Give this one more huge breath. Flow in, release out, and then slide back in. Beautiful. Change the cross of the legs. Clasp hands behind back again. Setting up the spine tall. Allow shoulders to roll open. Maybe the hands can pull away just a little bit. Zip up the core. We're training the shoulders to not have to hunch and roll forward all the time. They can open. Good. One more breath here. Easy exhale. As the hands release, now it's right hand sliding through the left thigh angle. Back muscles nice and long. Perhaps even starting to experience this through hips a bit. One more huge breath blows in. And out. Good. Slide in and roll up. Okay, now bolster comes right behind where we are, sitting long ways. We're taking this circle that we've already got set up, and we're taking it around us like a hula hoop. So strap is at the low back. The feet will start to come together like a cobbler's pose. And then we've got the strap over each thigh and under the bottoms of the feet. Notice, I call this the flag, where it's the direction that this excess strap is pointing. So you want the flag to point toward your body. So if it's on one side and it's pointing away. Slide it around the metal pieces to the other side so the flag can be there. You're welcome to tighten a little bit, but you don't want it all the way tight because we're going to lay back and that pulls some of the slack out just by being in that slightly different position. So you can tighten a little bit, and then when you're ready to head back, go nice and easy, one hand down on each side, and then melt down to the elbows, and then sliding the elbows open. We've got a beautiful chest opening, hips opening, all sorts of goodies. And again, adjust as much as you need to, tightening strap even more. Find that perfect spot where strap is helping. It's like when the hands were clasped behind the back and you feel the shoulders rolling open. Training a new shape. Take a moment to scan through the facial muscles. Sometimes there's tension we didn't even realize was there. How is the jaw? Can it relax more? How is the tongue? Is it pressing really intensely into roof of mouth? Can it relax to just a soft touch? How are the forehead muscles? Can they relax even more? And through the temples. And then check in with inner and outer corners of eyes. So those areas just relax. The left hand on the floor supporting you. I like to kind of leave that elbow there. And then allow your right hand to reach up above head toward back wall. If the wall is really close, you can have bent elbow too. You can allow yourself to scoot just a little bit off that left half of the bolster. It's like a good morning stretch, almost like a banana stretch, just more length through the right side ribs, the right waist. See if you can extend breath through the ribs even deeper. One more breath on this half. Beautiful. Slowly return right hand to ground and we're switching it out. So left arm gets to stretch up overhead. We can fall off the right side of the bolster just a little bit. One more huge inhale. Exhale, left arm starts to return to ground. We're on the center of bolster. Let's give it 3 more breaths in that position just to relax. And as your third breath finishes, we're going to slowly reverse our way back up. So as head starts to lift, slide the elbows in. Eventually a hand plants and then the other. Beautiful. Once we're all the way up, free out the strap. We can set it off to the side. And we're going to take the easiest wide angle forward fold possible. So for some of us, that might be bent knees and just kind of relaxing the spine over. Some of us might be sitting on the bolster. That can help the spine not pull us backwards. And some of us might love straightening the legs, or taking bolster in front is something to relax onto. So whatever it feels like, whatever would be the easiest, most comfortable version today, that's the version we're exploring. So it's absolutely fine if your shape looks different than everybody else. It's your experience through the back and the legs. Just keep on checking in with the body the whole time. Sometimes, say if the bolster's tilted up to a taller height, for instance, sometimes you start off at one place, and after a few breaths, you want to explore a new depth, and that's okay. So just constantly listening to the body and adjusting to what would be helpful at any point. That's where we're exploring. This is one of the first times we've gone forward in class today. So notice how breathing is when you're forward. It tends to be easier to be more collapsed. So notice if you can still breathe at least a little bit into belly area. That breath can help to lengthen the spine. Here just a little bit longer. So if there's anything that wants to be in a new shape, go ahead and take that shift. Let's take another 3 of those deep, slow breaths. You've had all 3, and gently rising. We're going to take knees underneath us in a kneeling position. And we're exploring intuitively in our spine for a couple of breaths. So this could be as easy as cat-cow, just rounding up and down. The spine wants to wag your tail side to side, that's fine. If there's circles that want to go, that's fine. Listen to your spine. We've done quite a bit of twisting, reaching, lengthening, arching. So just whatever feels good for a moment, give it that chance to explore. Beautiful. So from here, start to lower down onto your elbows for a Sphinx. The arms start off parallel with each other. Hands on the floor with some friction. The hands pull backwards, but without moving. So this allows chest and belly to lengthen forward. You get to choose with the neck while we're here for a couple of breaths. The neck could lengthen as if it's just an extension of spine, or you could purposely try to just drop head down, relaxing some of that neck tension. Sometimes rolling from one ear to the other can feel nice. So it's just whatever is useful here. Good. Now we're swiveling the hands in. So left hand is going to be in front of right hand. Parallel top of mat, and then walk the left hand off the right side of mat, the right hand off the left side. This should be allowing some space through shoulders. If you don't really feel a stretch through shoulder area, bump the elbows just an inch forward. Usually that'll get me right into it if I'm not there immediately. I like to rest my chin down, but you want to tuck it first so you still have space to breathe. One more good breath here. And start to inch your elbows back in. Slide the hands back to normal Sphinx, parallel with each other, pointing forward. And do the best rolling that your shoulders can do. Kind of rolling up, back, and around. Good. We'll start to switch sides. So now right hand will be in front. And then walk the hands back out to each side. Tuck the chin in, rest down. One more good breath. Huge inhale. Easy release with that exhale. And then this time as we walk back in, we're going to take alligator. This will be either hands stacking, forehead resting on the ground in front of us, or if you'd like to have a little bit more of a back bend through that alligator, slide your bolster back in, and then resting the arms on top of that will increase the back bend just a bit. So it's up to you either way, just on the ground or arched a little bit more. And start to feel your belly breathe into the ground. One more good breath here, relaxing inhale. Beautiful exhale. Good. You can either choose to go back to Sphinx, elbows down, or scoot the bolster in further so that it's propping your ribs up. So that would be the deeper back bend. So it's up to you. Either way, when we get situated, the left hand will stay right in front of us, propping us up. Right hand grabs right foot behind us. If you take the left first, it's okay. You'll just switch sides next time. Good. So I like to pull that foot in to start getting that quad stretch. If your quads are pretty open, you can also get a bonus shoulder stretch by starting to return the shoulders forward. With the elbow kind of popping up, that shoulder gets pulled nice. So it's up to you. Sometimes the quad stretch itself is enough, and that's okay. One more breath on this, huh? We'll start to switch it out. Release this side. Grab your second leg. For me, that's where I feel it. Yeah. But you can play with different areas. Back, for me, yeah, really up is what rotates the shoulder down a little bit. But you can play with it. Go with where you feel the shoulder the best. Okay, last deep breath on this, huh? Good. Easy, easy release. And then sending our way back into a nice child's pose. That'll feel good after that heart opening for so long. So you can have bolster in front of you if you want to rest forehead down, or you can just sink all the way back. So that low back, adding so much length. May feel nice just to stay here for a little bit longer, or you can join me walking with both hands off the right side of the mat. Giving extra length through the muscles of the back again. If you took it to the right, start to work your way over to the left. Returning back to center, remind the spine of that nice straight, long alignment. Walking hands toward us, we support the spine lifting up. Let's come back down to an easy, comfortable seated place again. Give our body just a couple of bonuses as we're wrapping up. So we're going to cradle out the right leg. One hand grabs onto foot, one hand to knee, or sometimes I'll go deeper. And we're just giving that right hip a chance to rock out in ways that feel good. Easy, easy motion. Good. Releasing this leg. Let's do that same rocking for second side.
On this side.
Oh yeah. I have been. Good. Come back down nice and easy. Remind spine to go tall. And from the spine being stacked, let's roll through the neck. So right ear drops to right shoulder. Sometimes you'll notice that there's a spot that's almost in a stretch, but not quite. So if the head needs to rock slightly behind shoulder or slightly in front of shoulder to get the tight spot, go ahead and readjust anything that you need. Good. And then slowly start to roll chin down through the chest. Work your way all the way to left ear over left shoulder. Again, if you need to tilt slightly forward or slightly backward of the shoulder, that's beautiful. And starting to roll chin back down to chest. We'll pause there for a little bit longer. If this is enough, just the weight of the head dropping down, great. If you need just a little bit more, clasp hands, resting hands on back of head. They're weighing the head down, not pulling. Both hands are there, they release, head floats. Let's bring our hands up to our shoulders and just give ourselves a little massage to wrap up. Tension in the shoulders. Remembering we don't have to carry that load. They can ease that tension away. And as we're massaging the shoulders, start to think about what Shavasana position would be the optimal for your body today. Sometimes bolster under knees feels amazing, bolster under back, or even legs up the wall. So you're welcome to stay here with this shoulder massage as long as you need. And then whenever you have clarity about what type of Shavasana you'd love today, go ahead and start heading toward that shape. All the time you need to settle down into your Shavasana shape. When you get there, allow yourself at least one moment to connect back to a slow, deep breath. It's not something that has to take a lot of mental effort the whole time. Just a moment to check in. What does it feel like to have a very deep, expansive belly breath? And how much can I allow my body to relax with the exhale? Begin to deepen your inhales. Deepen your exhales. Introduce little movements back to fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Allow body to stretch out in a way that feels good. like a fetal position. You're welcome to roll over, letting body have just a couple more breaths before rising up. Bless you. When you feel like you've fully returned to the present moment, to this experience of the body, allow yourself to rise up to a comfortable seated place. Hands together in front of heart. We check in with our load. We kind of imagine it sitting there right next to us. And we check in with our intuition and we ask, how much of that load do I need to carry with me the rest of the day? Is there any parts of this load that I can just release, not carrying with me at all at this point in life? And is there any self-care that I can continue to incorporate in my days to allow that load to be more manageable? So with these types of questions to lead us on, let's wrap up the time we shared together with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light, and happiness, and peace. Namaste.